Hi friends, it's June.
We started June out the right way, with books. Our local library was having a book sale, and we found a lot of great and relevant pickups. This past month was full of gardening. Glorious, glorious gardening. So many blooms, so many flowers. So many of our perennials had also come back, and our garden was full and lush. The pollinators, our local North American bees, are some of my favorite creatures to see in the garden. Also very strong allies for me. Eating from my garden and making food from it has been a great joy over the last few years. It really, really helps with my anxiety. Just picking vegetables and even some fruits has been such a rewarding experience. Working with my local land in this way is very healing for me. I love peas. You'll see a full garden tour later on, but I'm absolutely obsessed with these wax beans. If there's any crop that you're interested in growing, please go for wax beans. Seasonal money bowls are a big thing for me. I love going out and picking ingredients from the yard and the surrounding woods and the property and adding them to my prosperity and abundance bowls. Almost everything you see here has been sourced from the local land or stores in the area. Yellow color magic has been big for me this season. I love the color yellow. A lot of what I do is ancestrally inspired, and it's really important to me to try and call my ancestors in to as much folk magical work as possible. Another big local ally is the hummingbird. We get a few different types of hummingbirds here, and they travel so far to see us every year. It is such a rewarding and special experience to be able to share this land with them.
Hello witches and happy summer solstice. I want to take you along on one of my favorite summer solstice traditions, which is harvesting some plants to make really anything. Today what I really want to do is make an incense. I like to around this time make like an ancestral incense, so things that are either growing on this ancestral property or things that my ancestors would have used to cleanse, to sain, to purify in the regions that they were from. So I'm going to see how much my very low camera battery allows of this, but this is a great thing to do on the solstice. During Midsummer and the summer solstice and St. John's Day, St. John's Eve regional time, it was very traditional to harvest herbs, harvest plants, medicinal plants, folk magical plants. It's believed that during this time that plants are the most energetically powerful and present they could possibly be, and this is across many different cultures, certainly in mine and my ancestors' cultures. But this is why I love to use harvested plants at this time to make waters, to make incense, to make herbal medicines, things like that. So come along, let's see what we can find from the garden and from around the property. Rue is a powerfully protective plant. It grows here on the property that my grandparents built on and cultivated and farmed on. So I'm very blessed that it's doing so well, and mine is flowering now. So let's grab some of this. So I've got some lavender here, some really nice French lavender. I've got some hyssop And over here I have a ton of sage. I'm gonna cut up these 3 as well. Oh look, this is not sage, this is mullein. I'm so excited to have this back. It was originally over there and I guess it migrated to over here. Anyway, getting ahead of ourselves. This sage is going to definitely be a great cleansing addition to the incense that I'm gonna do. And I might even use some nettle from over there. So let's harvest. We definitely don't need a lot. Less is definitely more. But to be safe, I'm gonna harvest probably a little bit more from some other plants around it. So I've got my gloves for stinging nettle, for handling stinging nettle. It has very tiny prickers on it. I don't know if you can see that. But you definitely don't want to get those in your fingers. I have a couple times. It's not fun at all. So I'm also, while I'm here, gonna cut off the tops because it's starting to bolt. I would very much like to still make a soup out of her. So the reason I'm using stinging nettle is because stinging nettle is fantastic for deterrence, removal, banishments. I love stinging nettle. And I also really like to use fresh ingredients at this time if I can, in something, of course, that is non-perishable, so using it for like an incense is really awesome. It's an awesome way to preserve these midsummer ingredients, or making them into a salt. Just putting salt and these wet, fresh ingredients into like a food processor together. One that you don't use anymore for food, or maybe like a coffee grinder that you get just to grind up herbs. But it's really, really cool to be able to use these for the next couple months. She's going to come in handy for enemies. So if you don't know, you can cook nettle leaves in water to deactivate the stinging hairs, which is really nice. But I just wanted to show you the beautiful tea that it made. I cooked it for like 4 minutes, and it's just this absolutely stunning green, olive green color, like my favorite color, pretty much. You can use this in wards, you can use this in cleansings, you could use this to wipe down thresholds, wipe down spell spaces, you could use it in banishments, like to flush away oppressors or oppressive energies. You can use pretty much everything, any kind of like biodegradable byproduct in a spell. So don't waste the things that come from your ingredients, essentially. I can't wait to think of a use for this. So this is obviously a really small amount. All of that got a really, really small amount of powder, but I'm not surprised. So what I plan to do is I'm going to continue to add to this. This is specifically the powder that I made on Midsummer. I'm gonna mix it as I continue to harvest herbs and make powder, and it will hold that still beautiful energy from Midsummer. Got my favorite candle from Mithras Candles. This is their Mithras Gold. It's their standard pillar. So this has a place in almost every single one of my rituals. The Swamp Witch oil and spray from the Lunar Leo shop is a must today because it is buggy out here. I was not able to grow St. John's wort for the past 2 years, which is really disappointing, so maybe I will someday. So I'm going to add that to the altar, of course. Because what is Midsummer and the Summer Solstice without St. John's wort? This is from the garden. This is our beautiful protective rue plant. I just love her. I just love the smell of rue. Absolutely stunning. I hope everyone likes it. So I'm just gonna get a little bit more of the greenery for the decoration around the fire pit from some of the botanicals that are growing on the property. I see some long tulip grass. I'm gonna grab the rue that is growing from our gigantic bushes. It is so protective. It is one of my favorite allies that grows on this property. I'm so excited to be able to offer it to my friends too, so let's do that. Got some beautiful cuttings. Let's go decorate the fire pit. So nice. Just add some nice decorative botanicals to the space, I think. I've got some really terrible first tries of Bridget's crosses when I first started remaking them. I used to make them a long time ago, but I lost the ability, I guess. So I recently started remaking them when I found a relationship with Bridget. And these are just atrocious. So I'm gonna burn these, which is traditional to do during this time. My current ones are much better, so I'm probably gonna make another one tomorrow. We've got our little cauldron for burning petitions. We've got our petitions and prayer paper. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm also gonna put some of this in later so it can open the road for people's desires. And of course, we gotta add a little Lunar Leo's Keykeeper oil, which is our road opening ritual oil as well. It is St. John's Day, so it is time to harvest some of the yarrow that I have been growing in my garden for the past couple of years. This is a yellow variety, and I'm also going to be harvesting some of the wild variety, which I believe is white, out on the side of the property. Hi friends, I hope you're doing well. It is June. I can finally show you the garden update that I've been talking about for what feels like months. It is like 80-ish degrees, humidity's like probably cut in half. It is hot in the sun, there's a nice breeze out, so it really does feel like a nice but not perfect summer day. So I think it is a good day to do a bit of a garden tour. My husband and I have worked so hard on our garden this year, and we had a lot of perennials come back up, which is great. We also carved out an entire space for our first like fully fleshed out vegetable garden, which is really cool. I think I've said in previous vlogs that the vegetable garden that I was trying to go for was my great-grandmother's vegetable garden. So we got a list from my mom of everything that she would have grown in her garden to sustain her family. She lived right down that way. You could hear the dog barking down there. Maybe you could hear the dog barking. If you can hear the dog barking, that's the vicinity in which she lived. Yeah, so it's a really nice day for it. I'm excited to show you the garden. I hope you like it. And yeah, let's get started. Okay, I'm gonna get down here. This is my second time filming this because for the entire first time I filmed this, you couldn't see my head. So hello, welcome to the central flower garden. This is mostly perennials this time, but I've had annuals here in the past. I prefer perennials. I just want them to keep coming up, low maintenance. All I really have to do is weed. So I'm gonna go through this rather quickly because like I said, I already filmed this and you could not see anything but the lower half of my body. So we have a lot of cool things in this garden bed. I told you that I have been doing an ancestral vegetable bed, but I neglected to mention that I also have an ancestral flower bed. A lot of the stuff in this bed my grandmother grew I also have a lot of native plants in this bed, so I find that to be ancestral as well, or I categorize that as ancestral because plants are also our ancestors, especially the native ones. They're the ancestors of this land. So I'm trying to cultivate and work with as many native varieties as I can because it's just better for the environment in which I live. So these red cluster roses are absolutely gorgeous. They remind me of my grandmother. Her favorites were red roses. She had a ton of rose bushes when I was growing up here. There were many that after she died I had to dig out because they stopped producing, which I think is a clear and obvious sign that roses were her biggest plant ally. I also have some pink roses over here. There's some orange roses here that aren't producing right now, but they are absolutely beautiful when they come up. These roses, the ones, everything except the red roses, don't really like to be blasted with heat and sun. These ones seem to thrive in that. I'm not sure what the deal is there, but I absolutely love roses. They're also one of my favorite plant allies. I also have some snapdragons in this bed. I have echinacea. She's a little droopy right now because she also, even though requires full sun, doesn't like to be blasted with sunlight and heat. So girl cannot decide what she wants. She's often, when the sun is on this bed, droopy. I've got some native phlox there that is no longer phloxing. I think she'll probably phlox next year. I've got some bluebells of Scotland over here. The actual bluebells in Scotland, it's a different variety. These are the native North American variety, named likely after the Scottish variety. They were just absolutely stunning and beautiful and smelled delicious. They're one of my favorite scents in the world, and I got these when I was very, very homesick for Scotland after my first trip there. I not only got these beautiful bluebells, but I also have some gorgeous, gorgeous heather. I bought a variety, but I was gifted this variety by my beautiful, beautiful, very close and dear friends in Sussex County for an anniversary present, so I'm very, very grateful for them. There is some foxglove behind me that isn't really producing any longer, but some of the smaller ones are. I've got some what look like black eye Susan adjacent sunflowers. They're beautiful. I've got a North American native hibiscus here, which I'm really excited to see flower. Behind you, or I guess right in front of you, I have some North American wisteria, so again, another native plant. Some goldenrod in here, some false indigo, which is another native plant. False indigo is really cool because the leaves can be used as a dye, like a fabric dye or a paper dye, so I want to try and do that this year. This bed over here to my right is my shade garden bed, so it's definitely a lot nicer to be over here right now. As you can see, she needs to be weeded. I just have not had the time. I do see that there's a lot of clover growing in this bed, which is, if you didn't know, my favorite money magic and luck magic ingredient. The fact that you could just go outside and pick it out of your backyard or go to your local park. It grows on the sidewalks, like, use it. It's such a boost to your prosperity magic. I swear by it. But in this bed, we do have a lot of, again, natives. My favorites in this bed are the primrose. The evening primrose are just absolutely stunning. So supportive for women. I do take the oil of evening primrose as part of my supplement routine, but I feel like if you wanted to do some kind of spell, either to protect women, for women's rights, especially women's reproductive rights, to protect those, to help out and support a woman that you know, use evening primrose in that spell. She is so sympathetic towards women, and obviously not just cis women, trans women, non-binary folks. Like, I would use this to support all of those people in my life. One of my favorite things in this bed is the sweet woodruff. It is abundant in this bed and it smells absolutely divine. Sweet woodruff is a plant that's used heavily in like Germanic folk magic, but I have seen it in places like Scotland and Ireland as well. So I do feel that it's like an ancestral plant for me. It's somewhat buried by the weeds right now, but I just recently got a native fern. She is a cinnamon fern and she's native to North America, and I am so thrilled. She has like these little spokes that come out and they look like cinnamon sticks. Really cool. I have some coreopsis in this bed. I have some cranesbill in this bed, both natives. I have some hydrangea that's getting completely eviscerated by weeds, so again, I apologize. This bed desperately needs to be weeded. I just haven't had the time, and it's been either boiling hot outside or rainy as hell, so I will get to it. I also have some Solomon seal here. I have some goat's beard, which was an absolute fascination at my summer solstice party. Everybody wanted to know what the goat's beard was, and it's native. It's native. So thrilling. Native is gonna be the buzzword for this video. I'm gonna go around the other side. Hopefully you can still see me. Over here I have some comfrey, which is such an excellent plant for like wounds and bruises. Especially, it's really supportive for helping heal the skin. I love comfrey, and it's a very prevalent, interesting, and powerful plant in Irish folk magic as well, which is why I grow it in my garden. Also, you can make a fertilizer from comfrey. I learned that a couple years ago by literally just putting comfrey and water and put it in the dark for like a couple months, and you should be able to get fertilizer from it, which is wild. My bleeding hearts are dying down. This right here is the goat's beard, which I thought was, honestly, it looks like raspberry. I do have native raspberry over there though. This bed I really love. It's really magical. There's a lot of great stuff here. The lemon balm is for once not completely overtaking the bed because it's probably being outcompeted by weeds right now, but there's a ton of lemon balm over here. Lemon balm is a spreader. If you don't want her to come up all over the place, don't plant her in a garden bed. If in fact you do love lemon balm, then yeah, go off, just like mint. I believe lemon balm is in the mint family, so these girls are spreaders. But lemon balm is also something I wouldn't plant again in the ground because it's not a native plant, but it is very supportive. I do like it a lot. Again, like I would combine it with the evening primrose for like women's health, women's safety. It's also a great uplifting herb. I would use it for if someone was struggling with like a depressive episode and needed some magical support. Also, it is used medicinally as well, but I am not a certified herbalist. I'm also not a medical doctor, so I'm not going to speak to the medicinal properties of these plants. Obviously, you should always speak to your medical professionals or your medical practitioners or whatever care practitioners before you ingest any sort of plants. But for my own personal health, I have used these plants before. I have ingested these plants before. Some of them that, can be ingested. Approach at your own risk. Use your own best judgment. So behind me here is like another semi-full sun herb and flower bed. So I do have a number of nice things in here. I have Scotch thistle, which is supposed to put out these beautiful blue thistle-like, it's not a true thistle, but they're like blue thistle-like flowers. They're absolutely gorgeous. It's like an indigo, true cobalt indigo blue. I bought it again when I first got back from Scotland. It has not, that was a year ago. At this point, it's like in its second life cycle, but it has not produced those flowers yet for me. So I'm really hoping that sometime soon it will produce those flowers. I also have lavender in this bed, which is a staple. My favorite lavender is called Phenomenal Lavender. That's my favorite lavender to grow. It is always extremely prolific, and it does last. For me, it has lasted at least a couple years, so I'm really proud of it. I also have the biggest catmint plant that I have ever had. This plant I have been cultivating for years in a pot, and I finally put it in this bed last year, I believe, and it did pretty well. It did get pretty big, but this year it is gigantic. I absolutely love her so much. Catmint is one of my favorite herbs of all time. It is supportive, it is attracting, it is sedating as well. So if you ever want to slow something down, use catmint. If you ever want to, but at the same time, if you ever want to like pull something in, use catmint. So I think it can be used in a variety of ways. I also have some roses that do okay over here. They do put out some really pretty multicolored blooms. I have oregano in here, Italian oregano, that seems to be the hardiest oregano. I tried Greek oregano and it did not come back the second year. I am putting my full faith in the Italians for this one. They never seem to be wrong. So I also have some yarrow in this bed. It's yellow yarrow. It's another one that I've cultivated in a pot for years, and it does well here. It has not put out any flowers yet, so I'm thinking it should soon.
There is also wild yarrow at the front of the property. Those ones are white. They look like the Queen Anne's lace type flowers. Absolutely gorgeous. I love both varieties. I use both varieties. Yarrow is, again, one of my absolute favorite plants of all time, and one of my favorite allies. It is extremely supportive for so many things. It stops bleeding. It is a plant of incredible healing. It's a plant of divination in Irish folk magic. So I love yarrow for its many, many uses, many supports. It's a very strong plant. So when I want to bind something up, I use yarrow. There's also some cute little strawberry plants in this bed. These came back. There are some strawberry plants like kind of just sporadically around the other garden beds too. For some reason, I think they blew off from these. So these ones came back. These like intertwine themselves within the roses and the yarrow. So that I thought was really funny. And how could I forget lamb's ear? Lamb's ear is a beautiful plant. I love how soft it is. It's as soft as a lamb's ear. I believe it's also called nature's toilet paper. I know plantain is also referred to as nature's toilet paper. So it was also used in a lot of like colonial wound binding as well. It might actually be called nature's band-aid, but I think it can also be used for toilet paper. It's very soft, but it also puts out this beautiful shoot with these very, very pretty purple flowers every year that I really like. So I think it's a great addition in this bed. I also specifically added it to this bed hoping that it would spread. It has not spread yet. I've been told by numerous people, don't add lamb's ear to your bed because it'll spread. Girl, I want it to. So waiting on that. Let's go to the next bed. All right, so we are in the ancestral vegetable garden. It's not just one bed, multiple beds, little fenced off section here that we have fenced off for rabbits, for deer. They are adorable, but they are menaces when it comes to having a garden when you live rurally. So they are my worst competition when it comes to keeping the sustainability train going here. So we've got peppers in this bed, we've got basil everywhere you can think to try and companion plant a bit, keep those bugs away. This is also where I have my tomatoes. I've got zucchini in here as well, squash, all things that my grandmother and great-grandmother would have worked on in their gardens. Over in this bed over here, I've got more zucchini, more tomatoes. We're a tomato household. I've got some nasturtium, which is all parts edible, allegedly. So I'm gonna try that soon in a salad. Yeah, this bed is mostly just zucchini and tomatoes. Again, we eat a lot of zucchini and tomatoes in the summer. You could do so many things with them. In this bed, again, basil everywhere. We've got spinach, we've got rarer peppers. I'm looking at a Barbados pepper over here. I know we have one over there as well. We've got Swiss chard. We've got kale, the only kind I will actually eat that doesn't taste like bug spray. And I have a bunch of like that Bib Boston lettuce that I just adore. So I was able to get a lot of that this year. Some more peppers in this bed as well. In the bed behind me, we have beans. We have a lot of green beans. So I'm really excited. We have some rhubarb. We have some eggplant. We've got little little cucumbers over here. Some Thai basil as well. My husband loves Thai basil. In the bed over here, we've got radishes, which I'm super frickin' excited about. I think those are lima beans. Let me check. Yup, lima beans. We have a big old tomato. Actually, more tomatoes and more basil. So hopefully you can see my family's love of Italian food. My mom is like, it's her favorite food. She's obsessed with Italian food. We're not Italian. We do grow a lot of Italian plants because she loves the food, and her mother loved the food, and her mother loved the food. My great-grandmother was renowned for her canning ability. She had a whole canning cellar. She canned a ton of tomatoes and made incredible tomato sauce. I don't know if she learned it from an Italian person or an Italian American. She was Czechoslovakian. So who knows? We do see tomatoes used cross-culturally, especially too because they were American farmers, early American farmers. So yep, they're gonna definitely use a lot of nightshade plants. But yeah, everything in this garden is what my great-grandmother would have grown here, just down the way, as the crow flies. So that's really, really special to me, to be able to keep her memory alive through plants, which was
her favorite thing. Gardening was her favorite thing. And she is my biggest icon. I also see dill. I neglected dill, which was something that she loved growing as well. So yeah, vegetable garden. Okay, hopefully you can see me okay. Last but not least, we have our full sun bed, which is kind of the bane of my existence, to be honest with you. It is so hard to get stuff to grow in this bed because it is so blasted with sunlight. There's like no shelter for these plants. So we do have things that, are definitively full sun plants. Like I have another lavender here. We have some anise hyssop, which is a native plant. This garden sage, another thing that my great-grandmother was pretty renowned for growing, thrives here. It thrives here. It does so well. This is like a 5-year-old plant, which is kind of hard to get to with herbs. We've got parsley all over the place. We've got feverfew coming up everywhere. I've got some mountain mint, which is really cool. I've never grown that variety before, but something is eating it. A ton of zinnias. Zinnias are just a gorgeous addition to the garden. I think I have some St. John's wort coming up right there, a little late. But hopefully it'll still come up this year and come back. I've got some calendula and some annuals spread throughout, some tobacco plants that I'm excited to offer to my ancestors. I have some bog sunflower all the way at the bottom there, but her beautiful blooms have not graced us yet, so I'm hoping we'll see her in the near future. I have more varieties of lavender. I do have some French lavender here and some Munstead. I have some beautiful French thyme that is doing super well in this bed. And then back further here, I do have some perennial herbs. So I have, stinging nettle, which I think is delicious and I love to eat it. That's why I grow it. But obviously she stings. And it is not fun to catch your arm on a bit of stinging nettle. I do have some chives back here, way too close to the stinging nettle, which is like the bane of my husband's existence. I feel terrible that I planted them so close to each other. That was a bad move on my part. I have some black hellebore, which is really pretty, some lilies, some European hyssop back here as well, which is, something that would have been really meaningful for both my Catholic and Protestant folk, my ancestors, because those were plants that were mentioned in the Bible. They're also have a long history of being used in Europe as folk medicine and folk magical ingredients as well. I am dying. I'm going to get out of the sun. I believe mullein's coming up over here too after 2 years since I planted it, and some valerian, which is lovely. Excited about that to come back next year because she's already bloomed and done. So yeah, full sun bed. And right in front of you, you can't see it, but you'll get some B-roll of my baby elder tree as well. So I'm really excited for her. Okay, my friends, that is my full stop tour. Is that what it's called? Full stop tour? There are a few things that I left out that I will show B-roll of, like the grapevines and the new fuchsia that my husband just bought me. We saw a ton of hardy fuchsia in Ireland and completely fell in love with it. So are you seeing a theme here? I see plants that I love in other countries and countries that I love, and I bring it back here to my garden. So it's like a memory garden as well. I also didn't show you my poison garden, my mini poison garden, which is over there. I did not have some things come up, but I had others come up that weren't expected. So I will show that in B-roll. I just really don't feel like standing in front of another bed. I hope you can forgive me. But I really do hope you enjoyed this little tour of my garden, and it is my absolute pride and joy. I love, 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 love showing my garden off and talking to other folks about their gardens. So please share what you plant and what you grow with me. What's successful? What tricks or tips do you have? Please drop it in the comments. Help someone else. Help me do better as well, because I will always take a tip or a trick from someone who's had success. So yeah, I love you guys so much. It's like the end of June, so that's probably where I'm going to close out the vlog as well. I hope you have a beautiful next few weeks of July. You'll probably see my birthday trip as the next vlog in July. So love you so much. Stay magical. Be kind. Slán go fóill.